Here's the problem that needs to be solved. I use all these cans and things when I'm putzing, and they collect on every flat surface. Wall space is a precious commodity. Any square inch downstairs that I can make productive is precious to me. See this railing? Most people see this as a safety feature. I see 50 square feet of potential. This is prime real estate for the stuff I use every day. You need stairs, and you need a hand railing, and you need balusters or something similar to keep small people from falling over the edge. Just building a standard code-compliant hand railing would have been 50 square feet of unutilized space. But in a 30 by 48 pole shed like this, it seems like I need to take advantage of every square foot of usable space. So I decided to build my railing like this. It'll allow me to create narrow shelves down here at ground level, and it'll be really handy for the things I need quick access to. And I'm gonna make them out of 3/4 inch plywood because I have a ton of random pieces left over from the main shop build. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna make these, but we'll figure that out by the time we're done. This is option 1. By far the simplest answer is to just do a simple box. I mean, it's easy, it's sturdy, it won't sag. And like me, it's not all that flashy or sexy, but it certainly is functional. Here's option 2. This has a little bit more visual appeal, and it would allow me to clean out any schmoo that built up on the shelf over the years. This is more complicated to make, but it has a certain pizzazz. And option 3, this brings in some curvy goodness. But if you look around, I don't have any curves in this place. Turns out I'm a right angle kind of guy. And then there's option 4. Let me tell you, I think this is a whole lot easier to draw this thing than it would be to make it, but I'll give it the old college try and see what happens. Good news is we don't need to marry any of these ideas right now. So here's what we know. We know these shelves are going to be 3.5 inches deep, and they're going to be, well, however wide that is. But the question is, how tall do we make that front part? All right, I went and just checked a whole bunch of different things, and it seems like 4 inches is pretty much the magic number. And you know, if something's too short and I can't reach it, I can always put a little spacer in the shelf to raise things up, like a chunk of wood or a piece of plywood or something like that. Now here's an interesting idea. This is my tote that has my most used screws in it. I love it. I can come grab 2.5 inch screws, boom, and I'm good to go. But as it is now, I gotta come up here and grab this thing and grab my screws. And my second favorite screws, number 8 and smaller. I might have to think on this to see if I can figure out a way to get my favorite screws down on those shelves too. Now that we have our dimensions figured out, I'm gonna give a whack at building a prototype of each of those 4 different designs, and then we can take a look and see which ones we like. And I'm really curious to see how option 4 comes out. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I can't tell you how many times I've wished I had brake clean right here. So I just put this on with double-sided tape because I don't want unnecessary holes while I'm just figuring things out. But so far I like this. Okay, on to option 2. These are our options so far. Option 1. Option 2 looks fine. Kind of looks a little busy. I'm kind of liking option 1 actually. Let's make the next one. See if we like curves. Well, there's our curvy one. That's looking pretty good. Oh, my double-sided tape idea? It was a good idea for about 5 minutes, and then everything fell off. But this is a better idea. I still don't want to put any holes in here because who knows where these things are going to end up. Well, that's not bad. On to option 4. I printed out some stuff, and I figure I can go ahead and cut this out and use some adhesive spray, good old 3M. Spray it down and something good might happen. So let's get to it. That wasn't as much of a pain in the butt as I thought it was going to be. Okay, I got my letters cut out. That's an important first step. And I put a layout line so I can make sure that everything lines up on there correctly. And I'm not going to worry about the middle of the P and the middle of the R. That's too much effort for this guy. You know, I probably could have sprayed the paper instead of this wood, but oh well, live and learn. Ta-da! Too bad I can't just leave it like this, because then I'd be done. All right, let's figure out how to make some shapes. Okay, let's hop into one of my favorite drawers. Making holes and hole related. And I don't have a scroll saw or something that I can do a really tight radius with. So I think I'm gonna cheat and find something that's close enough to what I need. And that's just about it. All right, that wasn't too chaotic. So now I just gotta see if I can make this pretty. So far so good. Haven't broke it. Well, that turned out a whole lot nicer than I thought it would. Now we have option 4, and it didn't turn out all that bad, actually. I thought my penmanship would be a whole lot worse. What do you think? Which one of these should I go with for the whole wall here? Option 1, 2, 3, or 4? Go ahead and put that down in the comments. I'm curious what you all are thinking. And plus, it's not only for me, it's for everybody else watching, just to see what the community thinks. I'm gonna have to sit and think about this for a while. I mean, this is a big deal decision. This is where I'm gonna be marrying one of these designs. So one of the challenges I have to keep in mind is that the space between these 4x4s is different than the spacing to this 4x4. We're fast forwarding into the future here just really quick so I can explain how these 4x4s are laid out and why they're not symmetric. I wanted this one to be at the bottom where the stringer comes down and hits the ground, because that's where it's the girthiest. So I had a lot of meat to bolt this one in here. And then these two, they got spaced so that it would work well with my sheets of plywood and I could hide my seam behind these guys here. And just the way geometry and math and then the meat down here, because I wanted to hook these into the thickest part in the stringers, the way that all worked out, this is how the spacing ended up. So yeah, it would have been sexy if this space and this space and this were exactly the same, but because of meat math and stair stringers and hiding seams and all, this is what I got. So that means taking something like this, where geometrically those spaces are nice and matched, and then something like this, well, the geometry is all different, and I think it would look kind of funky. Your eye would say, hey, look it, that's one size, and that's another size. And I don't think I'm up to that kind of artistic challenge. And I like the simplicity of this. And plus, this is hella functional. Turns out Schmoo's not gonna be a problem with these things. I just blow it out with an air compressor if I get gunk in there. And one other thing with these two designs is if you get in here and look, this exposed plywood edge, it looks pretty junky. You know, I could make these out of solid wood, but I have a ton of 3/4 inch plywood that I really want to use up for this project. And so I'm not gonna make them out of solid wood. I'm gonna make them out of plywood. So that's another reason to go with this design. This may or may not end up in the final product, we'll see. I feel like I've made a decision. So we're going with option 1. Marriage, it's tough. It's a real commitment. And because I'm just anal retentive enough, I'm measuring to make sure the screws are all symmetric. Just anal retentive enough, not overboard. I'm still fun to be around. Oh yeah, that looks good. Now I've got a spot for my screws. And my glue. I think I like that. So here's what I'm thinking. Do one down here like this, and then another one right in the middle. So whatever that is. That seems to be a good way to do this. Let's do something. All right, I'm gonna get you in here so you can see this. And everything's all proper and pretty over here too, which means I can take off this reminder. This is a good idea I had, and I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. Well, what do you think? Did I miss anything? Is there a better way to get this done? Go ahead and put your thoughts down in the comments below. That way other people that are working on a pole shed can learn from your 2 cents. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do with that space up there. I don't know. I got enough shelves to keep me entertained for a while. Then who knows? I might do something clever up there. And I never figured out what to do with this. I mean, it was a good idea and all, but I kind of like just the plain old simple shelves. And this seemed just a little goofball. And I'm not much of a goofball. So I think what I'm gonna do is take and turn this into like a shelf that I can just put on a French cleat on the wall somewhere and move it around. And anyway, you might see this again in the future sometime. And one more thing, I am gonna throw some spar urethane on these shelves because that's what I have on the other plywood. That way if I get schmoo on it, it wipes off nice and easily and it's easy to keep the wood clean. But that's for me to worry about some other day. And with that, I'd like to thank you for hanging out with me while I got this crossed off the list. If you like the video and you want to see what's happening next here in the shed, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I've got a lot of other projects coming up and also just some good old-fashioned putzing out in the shed here too. So, all right, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.